Do you remember how the world felt after 9/11? Not the politics, not the headlines. I mean the people. You had strangers opening their door for people like it was their full-time job. People brought water and food to anyone in uniform. Many people lining up to donate blood, not because they were told, but because they needed to do something. Neighbors checking on neighbors. It's like race didn't matter anymore. Color, religion, nothing mattered. We all were human beings helping other human beings. And here's the part that messes with me. It took a crisis for us to act like that. So let me ask you a question that might sting a little. Why do we wait for a tragedy, burnout, or a heartache for us to remember who we are supposed to be when we already know who we should be? Welcome to Mountain of Growth, a space where we value progress over perfection and we build growth habits that might actually fit into real life. This book has very useful tiny points that I think that might be useful to anybody from any walk of life. Doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an employer, employee, a student. I honestly think it's worth having. I'm not going to cover every single point that I read in this book. I'm only sharing ideas and quotes that really stood out to me when I read this book. The ones that felt memorable, practical, and real. I'm sure if I were to read this book a couple years later, I'm going to find something else that's useful to me, depending on the chapter that I am in my life. This is why I think you should own the book, because you can find something useful every time you read it. And by the end of this video, you will walk away with one core mindset shift, a simple way to define what matters to you, and one challenge you can do today to build momentum. Let's get into it. First of all, this book is just beautiful. Look at it. I love the hues from dark blue or green all the way down to light blue or green. It is very beautiful. The cover too, great quality. This looks like the kind of a book a calm person reads when they're sipping tea underneath a tree. It's for a sunny, beautiful day underneath a shady tree. And also, if you want to upgrade the respect that you have a little bit in your workplace, walk in holding this book. Just kidding. Nobody argues with someone that's holding a book or reading a book that's called Make Today Matter. Meanwhile, when I was reading this book, I felt like I needed to be a better human being. According to me, Chris Lowney's message is simple. It shouldn't take a crisis to improve your life. Most of us fall into this category, but we should learn from other people's experiences. It shouldn't take disaster for us to start living with a purpose. Let me give you a modern example. Have you ever been at the airport and all of a sudden the system goes down? It is chaotic. It's like the time whereby someone got hacked and the whole airport system shut down. Insane. And sometimes these things will happen in your lifetime. And whenever this happens, you have two groups of people. The first group becomes feral. They go insane, they shout, they lose their minds. You don't want to be around them. They make the bad situation worse. It feels like if they don't board in the next 4 minutes, their life is over. And then on the other hand, you have quiet heroes. These are disgruntled folks, but they just try to hold it in and keep everybody sane. They're very kind. You can see them helping an older person with their tablet or information, translating some language, holding a bag for someone else, guiding people even though they're not getting paid to do that. And then you also have the lifesavers that share a charger when you really need it the most. These people restore your hope in humanity at the airport when things go bleak. And they remind us what it means to be human, which begs us to think, why can't we live like this when there is no chaos? Chris Lowney's point is, do not wait for a dramatic thing to happen in order for you to change your life. Don't wait for a dramatic event for you to act like a better human. Make today matter on purpose. Here's one of the biggest personal growth lessons that I took from this book. You have to decide what's meaningful to you. But if you don't decide, life decides it for you. And life's decisions are usually sponsored by social media, other people's expectations of you, your parents, and that voice in your head that keeps saying, do more, you're falling behind, which sometimes can be very useful to you. But you have to determine when. This hits a lot for women because they are carrying a lot of needs in their minds. Family, responsibilities, relationships, emotions, all these things in your hands as a woman. But men, they're not off the hook either. A lot of men are carrying a different weight. Weight to match their peers, a weight to provide, to succeed, pressure to be strong, and not talk about how tired or exhausted or depressed they are. Different packaging, similar exhaustion. It doesn't matter who you are. You can fall into the trap of letting other people define what's meaningful to you. Which leads to the question, what's enough for you? If you're pursuing a goal or a business, you have to determine what's the income amount that requires you to be successful and comfortable. Set this number before you even start pursuing your goals. What does financial freedom look like? What is that amount of money? How many hours of work per week is healthy? What do you want your days to feel like? But if you never define what enough is, you will keep chasing, and you will still feel behind. This is why the quote from Seneca that's in the book hits very hard. It says, "If one does not know to what port one is sailing, then no wind is favorable." Translation: if you don't know where you're going, even something good for you can feel like stress. And you don't need to have every little thing figured out. No, you just need a sense of direction. Otherwise, you will keep drifting. And drifting is what most of us do. We keep going, we like feeling busy, but nothing ever gets accomplished. Your life, it slowly slips by. I have seen this happen to people who are chasing goals that aren't even theirs. It's like when someone finally gets the promotion they've been working so hard towards, they get the title, they get the money, everything looks good. But all of a sudden, they start losing it all. Their health starts slipping, relationships start breaking down. They start spending huge amounts of money to numb their stress. And the scary part, they don't even stop to ask, is this the life that I wanted, or is the life that I thought would impress other people? Chris Lowney's message is very clear here. He says, choose what matters, then live aligned with it. Not perfect, just aligned. Once you figure out what matters to you, the book then pinpoints something that I think is very useful to you. Banish the inner demons and be free to pursue what matters. This is important because the biggest blocker isn't laziness. It is that small voice in your head. The voice that says you're behind, you'll fail, you're not good enough, you look stupid, people will judge you, so therefore just scroll, you'll start later. There's time. That voice is not wisdom. It is fear wearing glasses. Once you stop listening to that voice, you can do the next habit, which is change your little part of the world. Not the whole world, not the community, just your little corner. And this is where Mother Teresa, who was talked about in the book, fits perfectly. People think change has to be huge to matter. Yet we all know Mother Teresa built and changed the world through small little acts, one person at a time. There's this one tagline that gets linked to her often. It says, do small things with great love. This is what the book is really pushing. Not big fantasies, amazing results, just small daily actions that are meaningful. Here's a simple growth challenge you can do today. Pick one thing to make today matter. Not 10 things, not 2, just one thing. And just choose one category. It could be one act of courage, like just sending one email, saying hello to one person, starting the workout, or it could be one act of service, helping an elderly woman with a bag, needy people that are hungry, helping them with some food or clothing. It could also be one act of alignment, doing one small thing to match what you say you value. For example, to start the artwork that you've been wanting to do for the longest time. And tonight, before you go to bed, ask yourself, did I make today matter, or did I just survive the day? Do not shame yourself, do not guilt trip yourself. This is just for awareness on how to do better the next day. It is required that you do this because awareness creates change, and you can't change what you're not aware of. Now I want you to do something in the comments section. Make it very simple. Tell me what you're going to do today to make today better. It shouldn't be a big thing, just one small thing that you're going to do today to make today a better day. And the second question is, what's the best small book that you've ever read and that made a big impact to you? The book needs to be very small, almost similar to this. That way we can all build habits together. I will build a habit of reviewing books quicker, and you can build a habit of whatever you're choosing to do. Let me know in the comments section below. Drop a title and I'm building a list from what you guys give me. And I know you got some gems. If you've been overwhelmed by self-improvement over the years, this is your message. Start small. You don't need a perfect life tomorrow. You don't need a perfect life today. Just do that one small thing. It could be 10 minutes, even 1 minute, 30 seconds. Just start. And then tomorrow, we'll do it again together. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's keep climbing that mountain of growth. If you like this video, please watch this video above. And see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.